ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the President of the Republic of Liberia and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia, His Excellency President Joseph Yuma Mbwaka Sr., the Honorable Minister of National Defense, Brigadier General Geraldine Gina George, retired, and the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Major General Davison F. Fuller, you are welcome to the ceremony marking the 68th Armed Forces Day celebration, held on the theme, Sustaining Peace and Security Through Stakeholders Engagement, the role of the Armed Forces. This ceremony is being held today, 11 February 2025, at the Barclay Training Center, Monrovia. I am Major El Dorado Nyanti Jabo, Acting Chief of Public Affairs, Armed Forces of Liberia, and I am the Master of Ceremony for this 68th Armed Forces Days Parade. Since the enactment of legislation on 26 January 1957, tradition has it that every year, February 11, we celebrate in honor of the gallant men and women of the Armed Forces of Liberia in recognition of their bravery and meritorious services, highlighting the outstanding contributions they make to Liberia and acknowledging their sacrificial works for the nation and the people of Liberia. It has a rich heritage distinguished by those who carry its colors throughout history, a heritage maintained by those who wear the uniforms today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce the arrival of the Ambassador of Cuba. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today's parade is being executed by the Armed Forces of Liberia, Liberia National Police, Liberia Immigration Service, Department of Custom, Liberia Revenue Authority, Liberia National Fire Service, Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency, Monrovia City Police, Liberia Seaport Police, National Fishery and Aquaculture Authority, Pittsburgh City Police, and Liberia Scout Association. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the music for today's pre-parade serenade is being provided by the Armed Forces of Liberia Marching Band under the direction of 2nd Lieutenant Philip Capper. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce the arrival of the Egyptian ambassador to Liberia. The music for today's pre-parade serenade is being provided by the Armed Forces of Liberia Marching Band under the direction of 2nd Lieutenant Philip Capper, and the drum major for today's parade is Corporal Dennis Doe. The commander of troop will now form up his troop for the commander of troop will now form up his staff for the execution of today's parade. Commander of troop for today's parade is Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Timothy Powell, Commander 2nd Infantry Battalion, 23rd Infantry Brigade, Armed Forces of Liberia. Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Timothy Powell was enlisted into the a line of 2 or 3 ranks and looks you see today. It's Captain Aloysius Kwe, Operation Officer, 1st Battalion, 23rd Infantry Brigade, Armed Forces of Liberia. Once more, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the adjutant for today's parade is Captain Aloysius Kwe, Operation Officer, 1st Battalion, 23rd Infantry Brigade, Armed Forces of Liberia. Other members of the Commander of Troop Staff includes Second Lieutenant Basfor Smallwood, Logistic Command, Armed Forces of Liberia. Second Lieutenant Willett Nanu SK, Medical Command. Lieutenant Stephen Wa Kamara, Liberia Coast Guard, and Major Fulton Quayon, Operation Officer, Armed Forces Training Command, Armed Forces of Liberia. The adjutant for today's parade, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is Captain Aloysius Kui, Operation Officer, 1st Infantry Battalion, 23rd Infantry Brigade. The Sergeant Major of the parade is Command Sergeant Major Freddie Victor Reeves of the 23rd Infantry Brigade. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the adjutant has just called sound attention. This indicates troops' preparedness for the commencement of the parade. Generally, soldiers have one primary task: to be trained and ready to fight and win their nation's wars. This is achieved through tough, realistic, and challenging training that ensures effectiveness, proficiency, and professionalism in battle. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, sound the adjutant call indicates that the adjutant is about to form the parade and execute commander's intent. Marching gallantly to center the parade, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is the adjutant for today's parade, Captain Aloysius Kui, Operation Officer, 1st Battalion, 23rd Infantry Brigade, Armed Forces of Liberia. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the troops are now leaving from the ready line to the final line for the execution of today's parade. At this time, the adjutant has given the order, dress right, and this is meant to align the troops. So, as you are seeing, the commanders of the various units are now acting on the order, dress right, in alignment of their troops. Once again, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, dress right allows the commanders of the various units to allow their troops for the execution of the parade and win their nation's wars. This is achieved through tough, realistic, and challenging training that ensures effectiveness, proficiency, and professionalism in battle. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the adjutant for today's parade had just ordered the quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the marching of the colors. The flag is more than a symbol. The flag is the embodiment of our government, its people, ideals, and value. Members of the color party include Staff Sergeant Leonard Morgan. He stands in as a rifleman. Staff Sergeant Besa Mayangu. He bears the Liberian flag. Sergeant Demosthenes M. Gross Jr. He bears the AFF flag. Sergeant Moisetia bears the Liberian National Police flag. Officer Bwaka Ojaliba bears the Liberian Immigration Service flag, and Staff Sergeant Augustine Flomo stands in as a rifleman. For more than a century, the Star and Stripes is the banner under which Liberians have lived, fought, and died. The flag is more than the symbol. The flag is the embodiment of our government, its people, ideals, and value. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the formalities, the parade formalities taking place, prepared the color party to form part of the formation, or rather to join the formation, form part of the parade. The adjutant had just informed the commander of troops that the colors are present. And the adjutant has ordered the color party to post the colors and form part of the parade. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you may please remain in the stand until the color party post the colors. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the colors are now posted. You may please be seated. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, sign-off is a ceremonial military tradition that has been handed down for decades. On the command sign-off, it is customary for the band to march across the front of the troops, then counter-march across the front of the troops and halt in its original position. This tradition originated in the crusade when troops offering themselves for holy sacrifice were drawn up into a long formation and the band counter-marched before those choosing to serve. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Armed Forces of Liberia Marching Band is commanded by Second Lieutenant Philip Capper, and the drum major for today's parade is Corporal Dennis Doe. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there goes the Armed Forces of Liberia Marching Band performing the other sign-off, performing the command sign-off. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, sign-off is a ceremonial military tradition that has been handed down for decades. On the command sign-off, it is customary for the band to march across the front of the troops, then counter-march across the front of the troops, and halt in its original positions. This tradition originated in the crusade when troops offering themselves for holy sacrifice were drawn up into a long formation, and the band counter-marched before those choosing to serve. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there goes the Armed Forces of Liberia Marching Band. The Armed Forces of Liberia Marching Band is commanded by Second Lieutenant Philip Capper, and the drum major for today's parade is Corporal Dennis Doe. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce the arrival of the